Good evening, everybody. Today is Monday, May 17th, 2021, and this is the iBUG Buzz. My name is Brad Snyder, and along with Sandhya Rao, we'd like to welcome everybody to this evening's program. The iBUG Buzz is an open forum discussion where we talk about all things iOS and related. That includes the iPhone, the iPad, the iPod Touch, the Apple Watch, the Apple TV, and related apps. This call is being recorded, so we ask that everybody stay on mute so we can get as clean a recording as possible. For those, just as a review, if you're on an iPhone, you can mute and unmute yourself with the mute buttons in the lower left-hand corner of the screen. On the iPad, it's near the top center of the screen, maybe a little bit to the right of center. On the Windows computer, it is Alt-A, will mute and unmute. And on the Mac, it is Command-Shift-A. How about that? Let's see. And we do not use the raise hand feature here at iBUG. So if you would like to speak, we ask that you unmute yourself, state your name, and wait to be acknowledged by the host. And let's see, as I said, this call is being recorded and will be available on the iBUG website, as well as the Sight into Sound website, I believe. And it is also available as a podcast. Wherever you get your podcast, you can search for iBUG Buzz in your podcast player of choice or on your smart device of choice. Just ask it to play iBUG Buzz, and the most recent episode should be played for you. And I think that covers all of my intro. Now let's maybe get some announcements. Our daily dose of announcements. Is the iBUG guy here? Michael?
Well, we may have to do the.
Do we have to go to a backup?
Go to a backup.
Lord knows I'm not doing announcements.
I know, right?
I'm not approved for that.
You're not approved. Well, yeah,
approved for very little.
Let's do intros, and then they're ready to. They're unmuted, so I think we're ready.
Oh, you want to go ahead and do that?
Yep.
All right.
Hang on.
Well, why not? We take a trip around the room, give everybody an opportunity to say hello, state your name, and tell us where you're joining us from. And if you're a first-time caller, please let us know that as well.
This is Shelby in Baytown.
All right. Thank you, Shelby. Who else we got?
Jim in PA.
All right, Jim. Thank you. Welcome.
My name is Michelle Jenkins, Albany, Georgia.
Chanel in Houston.
This is Isaac in Temple, Texas.
All right.
Judy in Connecticut.
Roy from my backyard.
Hey, Roy from your backyard. Very good. Your humid backyard, I'm sure.
Yes, sir.
This is Nancy from Bend, Oregon.
Nancy, hello.
Suva from Houston.
Yeah,
This is Jim from North Carolina.
hello, Jim.
Dan from Southern California.
All right, Keith, and I'm sorry, who else was it?
Dan from Southern California.
Hey, Dan, welcome.
This is Stephen from my recliner.
All righty. Is your recliner in the backyard?
In the backyard. Yeah.
All right. Very
The
good.
backyard I don't have.
All right. Welcome,
Dane.
Stephen.
Dana from my living room in Cincinnati.
All right. Thank you, Dana.
This is Dee from Southern Illinois, and Steve can have my backyard,
Welcome, Dee.
provided he would mow it.
And
This is Herbie in Houston.
hey, Herbie.
This is Carrie from Fort Worth.
Hi, welcome.
Jody from New Hampshire.
Welcome, Jody.
Deb from
Anybody else?
Kansas.
Hey, Deb.
Hi.
Yeah. All right.
Freddie from Galveston County.
Hey, Freddie. Is that it?
Oh, this is Sandhya from Houston.
Yeah, this is Brad, and I'm in Dallas. I didn't
All
mention that in the
right.
beginning, so there we go.
This is Andrew from France.
Yay, there's Andrew.
All
I mean,
right.
yeah. Hi.
Hey, Andrew.
All right. If that's everybody, I believe the iBUG guy has joined us. A fashionable arrival. Very good.
All right.
And
I'm gonna.
let's proceed with the announcements, Michael.
Okay. Can everybody hear me okay?
Oh, yes.
All
Loud
right.
and clear.
Very good. All right. Looks like we got a very busy week for iBUG coming up. Starting out tomorrow, Tuesday evening at 5 p.m. Central Time. And all the times I'll be giving you are Central. We're having our iBUG Mini Buzz on Clubhouse. If anybody's on Clubhouse, you're welcome to come join us there. It's a very similar to the format that we're doing here tonight. It's just a 1 hour program for those folks that are on Clubhouse. Then Wednesday, 7 p.m., we have our iBUG Android Insight. That's for anything related to the Android operating system or devices. It's an open Q&A session for smartphones, tablets, Alexa devices, all that good kind of stuff. So if you have any of that or you have questions, please join us for that. Then we have Thursday night, the iBUG Trekkie Talk starts at 8 p.m. We are going to be discussing 2 episodes of Star Trek Discovery series. I think we're looking at episodes 9 and 10 this week. So you can watch those ahead of time. Those are audio described programs, and be able to join us to discuss those 8 p.m. Thursday night. Then Friday night, our regular iBUG night at the at the movies, virtual movies. There we have another feature film coming up this week. So stick around to the halftime show to find out the big reveal of what their feature is going to be this week. Then Saturday is a very special day for iBUG. We will be celebrating our 10th anniversary. 10 years that iBUG has been in existence. We'll have all kinds of fun, entertainment, games. Some special guests will be joining us from the past. And also, we will be finally doing our drawing of the Apple Watch Series 6 that we've been talking about for all these months. And yes, there's, well, let's see what, only 4 days left to get in on the drawing if you haven't already. For only $10 donation, you can buy a ticket for that drawing, or up your chances, get 6 tickets for a $50 donation. So come join us. That's going to be Saturday at 2 p.m. Central Time. And we should be, it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to just be celebrating. We're not going to do any kind of training during that time period. It's just going to be a fun-filled 2 hours, jam-packed. So we'd love to have everybody join us. All right, so that's what we've got going on this week in the iBUG world. So I will now turn it back over to Mr. Brad.
All righty, thank you, Michael. All right, well, I guess we're ready to get into tonight's main event, questions and hopefully some answers. We do like to invite our new participants, anyone who's new to iBUG or especially a new iOS user, to please step up to the mic and get us started off. So is there anyone new out there who'd like to start us off with some questions?
This is
Please.
Nancy, and I'm not new, but can I just say something to Sandhya because I didn't have time to text her?
Well, I guess, why not?
So Sandhya, our special guest, is available and ready to do her.
Okay, yeah. Does she? Okay, yeah. So we're speaking. Would she like to speak now and just give her a few minutes to talk, or later, or when would be? Just real quick, whenever is fine with her. If she wants to speak up now, it's fine as well. If that's okay with Brad.
It's fine with me.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead, Carrie, if you want to. So if she's ready, is she ready?
Somebody want to introduce?
Yeah, so Carrie wants to share her experience. Carrie is one of our newer members, and she's in our Jumpstart mentoring program. And she's going to tell us real quick about what has been going on and the importance of using the screen curtain. So Carrie, would you like to go forward?
Well, wait.
Yes.
This is Nancy, and I just have to say, Carrie just graduated from the mentoring.
Oh, okay, great. Okay. Well, we are super glad you're here, Carrie, and it's all yours.
Well, thank you. This all started with Nancy. Nancy was my mentor, and she's been a great mentor. And when we started, I had what they considered low vision, legal blind. And Nancy was very persistent in telling me to use the screen curtain to learn how to use my iPhone. I kind of resisted a little bit, maybe a lot in the beginning, but I did all my practices and all my trainings through that. Last week, I had a pretty devastating blow to my eyesight, and I lost mainly the rest of my eyesight last week. And because of Nancy's persistence in using the curtain, I was completely comfortable in using all the features on the iPhone, making calls, texting, getting to my websites, getting to my iPods. And so for that, I want to say thank you to Nancy. Thank you for being a great mentor. And thank you for teaching me the right way to learn how to use this iPhone with the curtain, because it really did help. And it was actually life savings in a lot of ways.
Wow. Well, Carrie, thank you so much for those kind words. And we know Nancy is an awesome mentor, but you have taken a lot of courage to come up and, I know you're going through a big life-changing event right now. And we appreciate you stepping up today and letting all of our callers, we talk about it and we know how important voiceover is, but we thank you for sharing that with us.
This is Nancy, and Carrie did not say this, but Carrie is in the hospital. She did that little presentation from the hospital. She's going through treatment. So she's had a great attitude through this whole thing, and it's been really, really fun for me to work with her and teach her voiceover. And thanks to iBUG for having the program for her to get to learn. So.
All right. Well, thank you. And thank you both. And we wish you all the best, Carrie. And we are here to help you as always. And we hope you'll keep participating and we make a good recovery. And just remind people that we do have the Jumpstart Mentoring Program, and that is a free program. It's a 12-week program. Fill out an application, and then you can be in the program. If you'd like to help others like Nancy, you can also be a mentor. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Carrie. And I will hand it over to you, Brad. Sorry to take over.
All right, no problem. Thank you. And thank you, Carrie. I appreciate your words. That's very good. I hope that's inspirational to others. All right. Let's see about some questions. Main
Marty.
event. Marty. Yes, sir. Proceed.
A friend of mine was demoing to me on his Series 5 watch how the screen curtain and speech function can be controlled like with 3-finger triple tap and 3-finger double tap respectively. My watch, when I do 3-finger triple tap, it turns off or on the crown navigation, and 3-finger double tap does not work. Is that because that update hasn't gotten to my watch because it's only a series 4? Or, what, like, why isn't my watch performing those same voiceover functions?
Who would like to help Marty out with his watch question? Anybody know what's going on with Marty's watch? Well,
And is that just me, or is anyone else?
I don't know. I was going to say, I know on mine, I have been able to use the 3-finger double tap to mute and unmute voiceover, but I don't believe I've ever tried to use a 3-finger triple tap to dim the screen. I believe that is a feature in the settings of the watch
It's
app.
Shelby.
Okay, Shelby.
Have you tried doing the screen curtain feature, the quadruple with the 4 fingers, the 4 tap?
I'm not sure that you can do that on a watch.
Curtain is
Or
the
can
screen
you do
curtain
that?
is the screen curtain on the phone is 3 fingers triple tap, and that doesn't now. It worked on my friend's watch, but not on. I couldn't. It's not working on mine. It turns crown navigation on or off.
Well, I thought crown navigation was 2-finger double tap.
No, I think it's 3.
I'd have to see. I don't know. I do know that some of these gestures, because I have a 40 millimeter watch and it's not a whole lot of real estate from, 3 fingers. 2 fingers is pretty good, but 3 is tough.
Which watch do you have, Brad?
I have a 40 millimeter series 5.
Oh, you have a 5. Okay.
But I think you said yours is a 5?
No, it's a 4.
It's a 4. Well, I think 4 and newer are very similar. And I think it's more dependent on which watch OS you're running.
Well, I thought I got the latest, and that's another thing I did check. I did check for update with the phone, like the watch app and the phone.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of got hung up. And when I did check for watch update with the watch, it said could not check error. And so I just canceled it.
You might try rebooting the watch and rebooting the watch, rebooting the phone. Was there someone else in there?
This is Chanel.
Okay, Chanel.
Yeah, I mean, I do have a 6, but I just confirmed the gestures now on mine at least. 2-finger triple tap is for the crown, and a 3-finger triple tap is for the screen curtain.
Thank you. I knew it was 2 fingers for the crown navigation.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking you just having trouble getting all 3 fingers to make good contact because on that little bitty surface area of the watch.
It could be. Now I have the larger one. I have 44, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well.
All right, I'll try that.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Chanel. Let us know how that works out, Marty. Hopefully that figures it out for you.
Thanks.
Okay. Who'd like to ask the next question? Anybody out there? iPhone question, another watch question.
This is Suva.
Okay, Suva.
Now, I'm not new, but I'm actually asking this question on behalf of my mentee.
That's fine.
And unfortunately, I think she's unmuted. I've been trying to, get her to, muted. I've been trying to get her to unmute so we can hear. But anyway, so the problem is, so I'm just thinking if I could ask the question on behalf of her. Our last session, we had a problem, which is the Siri kept activating regardless of what we're trying to do. If we're trying to, use our voiceover to, and then turn in the carton, like regardless of what commands we were giving it with voice, it didn't really seem to do anything. It just went quiet, even though the voiceover is turned on, and none of our gesture was registering. So I'm not sure if there's a way that we could disable or try to do something in order to maybe, I haven't restarted the phone, but I don't know if that would be the, any idea would be great, because I couldn't seem to get anything to work with our gesture commands. And anything we do with voiceover, it seems like it was like it just go quiet. We couldn't even see if it was doing it or not. And yeah, so anything on that would be helpful.
Right. Who would like to maybe see if they have something helpful for Suba?
This is Isaac.
Yes, sir, Isaac.
All right. So, okay. So, Suva, you were saying that you were, if I understand correctly, you were saying that Siri starts activating automatically, right?
Correct.
Okay. So now I don't know if this may help, but what you might have enabled was listen for Hey Siri, possibly. And
okay.
and so if you go to settings, and if I believe it's called the Siri and search, and then there's an option called give me 1 second.
It's Shelby. Oh,
Hang on.
Hang on, let's give Isaac a chance here, Shelby.
Give me 1 second. Listen for Hey Siri. Yes, that's what it is. Yes, listen for Hey Siri. If you find listen for Hey Siri, you can actually turn that off. So you go to settings, Siri and search, and then listen for Hey Siri, and you can turn that off.
We'll try. Yes.
All right. Okay, Shelby, go ahead.
Oh no, he got it. I was just gonna help do that.
Okay. Well,
I
thank
was
you.
that earlier.
Okay. Well, thank you. All right. So I might also try, like I said, you said you hadn't restarted the phone. I'd restart the phone.
Right.
You cannot emphasize enough how much that is an important thing to do whenever there's something funny going on.
Right. So that's something. Yep. Go ahead.
This is Keith.
Yes, sir, Keith.
A couple questions. One, are you using headphones? And two, when you say nothing's happening, can you hear the clicks, the actual sounds of the gestures,
right?
And
so
just not the voiceover. So here recently, in the last couple updates, it seems like voiceover has been a little spotty.
Mhm.
And when it does that, when you can hear the clicks, and one thing you'll need to make sure is go into your voiceover settings and make sure there's accessibility voiceover. I have to go check, but make sure your triple click. What phone is she using?
An iPhone 7.
7. So she does have the home button. She can press the home button 3 times, and that will turn voiceover off. And then she can press it 3 more times, and it will turn it back on. And usually that toggle off and on will kind of reset voiceover, and you'll be able to hear voiceover. And then if you're still not able to hear it at that point, you can always try the volume up. If you put one finger on the screen while you're pressing the up button, and just make sure the volume is turned off and then turned up. And then as another resort, like Brad was saying, just go ahead and restart the phone. One of those should help you get voiceover started again. But like I said, it's been the last couple of updates. It seems like that's happening more and more.
This is Suva.
Yeah, go ahead, Suba.
So we weren't actually trying to activate Siri at all. Like we just want to work. I wanted to show her how VoiceOver works, and I was trying to get to the practice feature on the VoiceOver settings, under VoiceOver settings, VoiceOver practice. I'm not quite sure exactly what it's called, but it's right under VoiceOver. You can practice the gestures, and so I was trying to show her that and trying to get to that, and regardless of what we're trying to do, even though we didn't ask Siri to, appear with the Hey Siri command or press the home button, hold it, in order to activate Siri would just automatically, after like every 10 seconds, 30 seconds, he would just appear. So I'm not sure exactly what's going on there. If we weren't trying to, I told her not to touch the phone, and it would still activate the Siri. So I just went ahead and gave her the Apple accessibility phone number. So I'm thinking, so reset would be my last a step that I'm gonna do our next session, and then also the Apple accessibility, because I couldn't able to figure out what exactly was going on with that feature. Even though we weren't trying to activate it, it would just appear without any reason.
This is Keith.
Yeah, go ahead, Keith.
That was my other question: is she using headphones or no headphones?
No headphones.
Okay. Well, I was just for everybody, I've noticed, like with my wired headphones, if they start shorting out a little bit, that my headphones, if I bump into my headphones, it will inadvertently activate Siri. So, but yeah, that's, if she's not using headphones, that's kind of curious there.
None of our gesture is working, even though the VoiceOver is on. I was trying to use, ask her, give her instructions on use your right flick, right gesture to get to, try to start to hear anything. But it wasn't, nothing is registering. Only Siri would appear, and that's all we can do. We can give it voice commands, and I did. I tried to turn off the voice control. I tried to give it the command, please turn off voice control when the Siri was appearing. I was giving it the only way we could even turn on VoiceOver is through the voice command. I was the home button didn't work, triple tap no work. So yeah, I gave it voice command to activate VoiceOver, and it did enable VoiceOver. So, but regardless if it activated or not, it wouldn't register anything.
This is Brad. A couple observations I had from listening to what you've been describing is, first of all, you said that you were having her turn on and off VoiceOver help, which is 3-finger quadruple tap. And you said she was hearing clicks when she would move her finger around on the screen, which tells me VoiceOver's on, but you're not getting speech. 3-finger double tap, perhaps. Maybe VoiceOver speech has been muted.
Yes. Yes. So that's something I tried. No sound.
The other thing I thought about is the VoiceOver shortcut. Triple clicking the home button has to be enabled.
Right.
It will work. It works the first time when the phone is out of the box, but later on down the line, if it has to be enabled by going into accessibility
yes.
and going to the accessibility shortcut and enabling it, because it won't just work by default.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So, but again, I don't know about that Siri thing. That perplexes me. I try rebooting the phone. To me, that's always the first thing I do. And you said you haven't done that. So I'd give that a try and see what that does for you.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All righty. Wish we had something more definitive for you. Go ahead, Keith.
Just one more thought on Siri, and I've noticed it here lately. In fact, this has happened quite a bit over the last couple of years, but sometimes Siri, if you're in another app or something and you try to activate Siri, you can hold down the home button and it just gives you that. I'm not even going to try to attempt the sound it makes, but it's the sound that when Siri is not working, and sometimes you just have to press your home button and get on your home screen and make sure Siri's, you're cleared out of the app, you're cleared out of the Siri screen, and try to redo it. And like I said, the voiceover in Siri over the last couple of updates has been a little clunky. So you might just have to try all the above, unfortunately.
Sounds good.
This is Freddie.
Yes, Freddie.
I have just have a report. I had a question last week about my phone. It's when I was sending messages through the Messages app, and I was told to use the hard reboot, and it worked. It worked for me, and I just wanted to thank everyone for that. It worked.
All right, very good. Thank you for letting us know. I'm glad it straightened it out for you.
Yes.
Thank
This
you,
is
Freddie.
Karen.
Yes, Karen.
Yep. I need help from any experienced Apple Podcast user. After that recent update to 14.5, I'm probably 99% lost with how to handle the podcast, particularly in Listen Now, because obviously that's where I spend most of my time. And I can't figure it out. I called Apple probably 10 times, accessibility, and the problems I was encountering with them is that a lot of them were not podcast users, or if they would say, oh, I might listen to a podcast like once a year, or, oh, I never listen to podcasts. And I'm like, okay, you can't help me. It's like, so I'm lost. Completely. Right. It was a dramatic update.
Who we got who uses that Apple Podcast app? I know a lot of people use it. Anybody got experience with that app?
This is Dan.
Okay, Dan.
I don't have any direct experience with that, but there's an excellent tutorial on Apple Viz done by Thomas Donville. He calls himself Anonymous. That he goes through the whole thing, how to work with the latest version of Apple Podcast with iOS 14.5. And I think it's excellent. So you might want to check that out.
Okay. I'll look for that. Thank you.
This is Suva.
Yes,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Who else?
Go ahead. Go ahead. Let Suva go.
Who else did we have there?
Are you sure? This is Suva.
Yeah. Go ahead, Suva.
Oh, just a couple of things. The latest version is actually 14.5.1. So they released another small update right after they released 14.5.
Correct.
And the podcast, I'm just trying to, is that the same one that we have with our iPhone, the Apple Podcast?
Yes, that's what they're talking about.
That's what I use, yeah.
It seems to be working. Are you using something different from VoiceOver?
No.
I mean, okay.
No, it was just such a dramatic change to me. And my settings, I don't understand. Yeah. I mean, I'm just like, what is this? And the format is like so different.
This is Keith.
Yeah, go ahead, Keith.
So I do use podcasts, and yes, they've switched up a bunch of things. It was so much easier for us before this latest update. But what specifically could get you up and running or more comfortable? Is there anything specific that you're trying to do that you're not able to do?
I'm getting old episodes. I'm getting some episodes back to 2018, 2019. I don't know how they're being generated. These episodes are popping up. It's not naming the show. Before I would hear the show, and it would be, a few updates ago, it would have the show and like a little description of the episode all in one. But that changed, and then it was just a show, and you could barely figure out what the episode was, but you knew the show. You knew that was a recent episode. And I would tap on it and everything would be fine. Now the episodes are just showing up and it's not saying the name of the show. So I'm like, okay, trying to figure out what the episode is about. And I'm like, what show is that? And then also they won't go away. I don't know how to make them go away. I used to be able to swipe up a couple times. I would hear delete. They're not downloaded. I have some old downloaded things, but I stopped doing the downloads like, months ago. So, but delete just meant like to make them go somewhere. Now that delete button is gone. There's no delete there. And they eventually told me to check them as mark as played. And I did that and it seemed like they went somewhere, but then they would come back. someone would come back and I would say, well, didn't I listen to that episode already? Or didn't I mark that unplayed? And sure enough, when I would go down the list, it would say mark as unplayed, which shows that I already marked it as played. And I'm like, why is it coming back? So it's real confusing.
It
I
is.
can't figure
And
it out.
here's the 1 minute breakdown of what I've figured out. Okay, so like the playing now screen is your latest and greatest podcast, and it typically I'll have podcasts that I have recently played, and I've even some that I subscribe to. The newest one will show up on that screen. But if you go to the library, I've noticed now that the podcasts that you're subscribed to or downloaded, they do not actually give you any information except for the podcast name and what date you subscribe to that podcast. And then if you double tap your podcast there, it should open up the actual podcast page, and at the top you'll have the newest podcast. And then if you swipe through, it'll say see all, and it will list all the podcasts in order. And I've noticed, like you said, with the delete, I have not been able to find the delete, and the only way I've seen them disappear is if I play the whole podcast through, and then it will. Then there in the library, there's actually a heading for played podcast or something like. I mean, something to that effect, that it is one that you have played, but you're saying you're not subscribed to any podcast. So I would think that any podcast that you have, you haven't listened to all the way through, are probably still going to hang around either on that now playing or in your library. And
they can stay in the library. I want them to go away from listen now.
Right. And I think that's probably the only way to get it. Only way I've seen is to actually let it play all the way through. And if you still have 2 or 3 minutes left and you want to get rid of it, I would just open the player and fast forward it to the end, and then it should disappear off of your now playing screen.
Yeah, I'll
Herbie,
try
go
that.
ahead. Hang on.
Okay.
Hang on, Herbie had something here. Let's see what he's got to contribute.
All right, a couple things. So first of all, the problem with old episodes appearing, something important I want to stress here, that is not a voiceover issue or an accessibility issue or anything you're doing wrong. It is a problem that I have seen on professional blogs with a big complaint about the app since they released the 14.5 is that it's suddenly bringing back a lot of old episodes for people. I don't know if everybody's sighted people are having the same issue where they can't see the title or not, but it bringing back old episodes is a universal problem. I was having issues with that well before 14.5, and I personally recommend the Overcast podcast app. But the other thing I do believe I've heard, if you go into settings, you can go into the podcast app there and delete all data. And I believe that clears off it's a mass delete. But I believe that's the only way to delete all the stuff off of the thing. That's my understanding. But in all honesty, unless you're going to be using the premium podcasts that may come out or whatever, I don't even recommend the podcast app for anybody.
This is Brad. To back up what Herbie said, there has been much discussion on the Apple Insider news feed and on their podcast that 14.5 has just messed up the podcast app, and they're very concerned about it over there because they say 70-something% of their listeners use it, and they're concerned about it. I agree with Herbie. I gave up on the Apple podcast app many iOS versions ago because it's just too complicated, and Apple seems to go out of their way to make it as confusing as possible. I'm a big fan of Overcast, and there are a number of other podcast players that are available for free that you can get that are a lot simpler to use. So I wish we could have an answer for you, but I think there's just something that Apple did in 1405 that messed that app up.
Okay. Thank you. I
No,
thought it was
it's-
just me.
No, it is not just you.
Okay.
Trust me. And it is not just you.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Anybody else got another question out there? New topic.
Yes, I have a question. Xavier?
Okay. Say your name again.
Xavier?
Xavier. Yes, sir.
I have just a simple question. I signed up for the mentoring program about 2 weeks ago. And today I just heard that they're trying to match me with a mentor. How long does it usually take? And and how long is the program?
That would be a Sandhya question.
All right. Yeah, welcome,
That'd be
Xavier.
a-
Glad to have you on the call. Thank you for
Thank
calling
you.
in. And it just depends on, our waiting list. I mean, there is a waiting list, and the program is 12 weeks. So we will let you know as soon as we find somebody for you, and hopefully it'll be soon. All right? So,
Okay. And one more simple question. What is the benefit of having an Apple Watch if I have an Apple phone? Is there a difference, or is there more features?
oh, that's a
Is
great
it
question,
necessary to get an
Brad.
Apple Watch?
Right.
This
Who
is
would
Herbie.
like to tell? Yes, Herbie, go
Okay,
ahead.
so the Apple Watch, first and foremost, its primary goal is to really measure workouts. The phone can do some of that to a small degree, but the watch can really do a lot of cool things like, measure walking, running, heartbeat, it can do any kind of exercise. And once we get you set up with a mentor, one of the things they can help you with at some point is learning how to use Safari, and you can find they can help you find our iBUG cafe that deals specifically with the Apple Watch, that goes into every kind of detail you would possibly want to know, and then some. But it's an exercise monitor, a health monitor, and it can do some other. It's having an extra device on your wrist. It can do phone calls. I find that can be useful sometimes if I'm needing to use my cane actually and be on the phone at the same time. You can do messages on it. You can so let's say it definitely comes in handy for me, like say I'm not near my phone or my Mac and I get a message and I can just quickly respond to it right there on my wrist. So it can do some extra things, but it's cool to have it for that. But its primary purpose is really for health monitoring and exercise monitoring. So that's the overall thing for the watch. But it can do a lot of secondary functions as well.
Well, thank you, Herbie. Hope that explains some things for you, Xavier.
Yes.
Yeah, could I? This is Jerry from Vermont.
Yes, Jerry.
How are you?
Go ahead.
I just wanted to say a couple of things in addition to what Herbie said about the watch. I have a Series 4, which means that I don't have the pulse monitor and all of that stuff. I'm hoping that the Watch 7 is the next iteration of it is good, but it does do a lot of other ancillary things, and for me the health monitoring is critical. I have really enjoyed the health monitoring piece of it, but the other thing is I've been able to link apps that are on the phone, that are on my iPhone, to that, such as Facebook Messenger and the Withings app for the scale and the thermometer app. Sorry, my Mac is. Shh, I put it to sleep. I think Herbie's right that the primary function is health and exercise. I use it for both, but there are so many other benefits that you can derive from the Apple Watch. The watch has saved my life, like literally saved my life like 3 times. So I'm a big fan of the Apple Watch, and it also has been useful with phone calls and text messages and so forth. So what I've really liked is you can get all kinds of watch faces on there. And I'm totally blind, so I've never seen the moon, never been able to see the moon and stars and all of that. But the watch on some of the watch faces will tell you what quarter of the moon you're in, and it'll tell you, weather, wind speed, and all that kind of stuff, depending upon what you put on the particular watch faces. There's an astronomy one with Earth and moon and all of that stuff. And I don't want to belabor it, but what I want to say is it's opened up my whole panoramic, so to speak, my whole view of the world, because it has all of these things that I've never been able to experience as a blind person. So I'll go away now.
Okay.
Thank you, Jerry. All right, Xavier. Hopefully that tells
Can I
you a
have
lot
one
about the
more
watch.
question?
Yes, sir, please.
How does that Apple Watch differ? I have a Fitbit, and I use it for my health and fitness. Is the Apple Watch more conducive for a person
Maybe
who's blind?
somebody out there knows about a Fitbit and can contrast the two, compare and contrast. Who can tell us how advantages an Apple Watch might have over a Fitbit?
This is Marty.
Go ahead, Marty.
And I'm not really familiar with the Fitbit, but I would think if you have the Apple Watch, it will interface better with the functions on your phone. And a lot of the apps on your phone, if you turn mirroring on, would work with the Apple Watch, where those apps wouldn't work with the Fitbit because the Fitbit's not an iOS device.
Okay. Thank you.
This is Jerry from Vermont again.
Did I hear? Hang on, Jerry. Did I hear somebody else?
This is Andrew from France.
Let's let Andrew go.
Okay.
I was just gonna say a couple of things. One of the other features that I actually have dealt with at the very beginning when I first got my Apple Watch was, and it's not such an issue in the US, but it is in other countries, is security, because there's sometimes where you don't want to take out your phone because of security reasons. We've had iPhones stolen from us, well, not me personally, but from friends or people that we know, from our very own, from the train station that we normally go to on the platform. People have seen that you have an iPhone and they've been stolen straight out of their hand. And with the Apple Watch, it's a lot harder. People don't really go that far to steal it off your wrist. They just, it's a little bit more discreet. And second of all, to answer the second question in terms of how it would be different from the benefits of the Apple Watch, the thing about all the Apple products is that you have to remember is that they're all designed to work seamlessly together and to synchronize information. So when the Apple Watch pulls information in terms of number of steps you take or all of the health monitoring features that it does, it synchronizes them automatically with their health app. And that ability to be able to synchronize that is really beneficial, because then you can look in the health app and see trends, and you can see how you're doing in terms of overall goals and things like that you normally wouldn't necessarily be able to do with other devices. So I don't know exactly how all the other devices work with it, but I know that those who have used other devices other than Apple Watch usually say that the Apple Watch does a better job of synchronizing with the health app and all of its information, and being able to really record all of that accurately. So
thank you.
Right.
This is still Jerry here. I just wanted to
let's
add,
go back to Jerry. Go ahead, Jerry.
Sorry. I just wanted to say I used both. I used both. Notice the tense, used. Before I even knew about, even when I started knowing about the early Apple Watches, I waited till the Series 4 to get one. And I did it primarily because a lot of at that time, now I don't know what the Fitbit app is like now because I deleted it all from my phone, but at that time you couldn't access all of the Fitbit features from the phone app, or at least I could. Maybe the other geniuses on here could, but I sure as hell couldn't. So I kept I used it for what I could use it for, which was steps, and there was a food thing in there, and some of that would work, but the Apple Watch was so far superior to what the Fitbit was offering at that moment in time that it was a no-brainer for me. So it just does everything. The only thing you can't do obviously is follow weather radar unless you can see on it. There are apps that you can do that with on the Apple Watch. It also synchronizes your wallet as well, your Apple Wallet. Okay, that's me. Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you.
All right. I will say I've been an Apple Watch user since day one of the Series 1, and I use it for all kinds of stuff. It's hard to say what, but all messaging and everything. And I think everybody has summed it up. It does a lot of stuff. Hope that helped you out. All right. Who's got another question, a new topic?
This is Keith.
Yes, sir, Keith.
Hey, can I make a quick tip about podcast settings?
Sure.
So I went to podcast in settings, and if you go down, there is a heading that says episode displays or episodes display. And if you swipe once to the right, it says hide played episodes, and it's a on-off toggle. And I just noticed mine is toggled off. So that might be something that you can go in, turn that toggle on, and clean up your podcast app.
All right. Well, thank you. It might help. All right.
This is
Who's
David.
got an say it again?
This is David.
Yes, David.
Hi. Well, I don't want to belabor the Apple Watch. I have another question about the Apple Watch, but
Yeah, go ahead. Why not? We like the Apple Watch.
So I've just got mine within the week. I was kind of surprised, and maybe I don't know how to do it, but like the little notification sounds, there's no way to change those. Because
I don't think so.
It's hard to know when you get a text message, or when it's just a news notification, or if it's one of those little you need to breathe now, or
This is Marty.
Yeah, Marty.
Yeah, I tried changing my ringtone to no avail, I think, and other tones. I think unfortunately, maybe they will adjust the software and the hardware, and maybe in a future iteration, that would be a nice feature if we could, like our phones, change these tones. But
it's very disappointing
no.
because it has the capability to do that, I'm sure, because it can, it can play. Well, I guess it's not stereo, but I mean, I guess it can do.
This is
more
Herbie.
sounds that it's programmed in there.
Go ahead, Herbie.
Okay, so a couple of things though that will help with the tones. First of all, the text tone is a much higher ping than the standard notification tone. So if it's like "Ang," it's your standard notification. If it's more like "Eeng," then that's your text tone. I don't know how to describe it any better than that. Other than those tones have pitches. Your calendar has a kind of like a double/triple tone type effect. And the breathing one, I forget what that is because I turned that off because I got tired of it telling me something that I do all the time anyway. So, like if I'm not breathing, well, I think I've got a different problem altogether.
Like the stand-up notification.
Yeah, the stand-up notification, yes. One thing I do though is like there's some notifications I just turn off on the watch if I want to hear a specific tone, like Dice World, for instance. I do not have that coming through on the watch because it won't make the dice sound. It makes the standard notification sound, and I want to hear the dice sound specifically. So I have that coming through my phone. Same with WhatsApp because there is a WhatsApp watch app now, I do believe, but in the past I was never able to respond to messages. So, and it has its own distinct tone anyway. So I turned that notification off on the watch. Otherwise, it is kind of surprising to me that we're up to 6 series of the watches, and they've never allowed you to have the ability to change tones. The watch is so behind on some things, though. You have to understand. Like, it was only what 2 years ago that we could even have the extra Siri voice. I mean, for the watch, that's like, all right, we get a new voice. Other than changing languages. So there's some things that they are really behind with in terms of the watch, and that's why I always talk about it being a primarily workout monitor and just some of these other functions as secondary.
All right. Thank you, Herbie. Okay. We got just a few more minutes till the halfway point. Maybe time for another question or two. Who hasn't had a chance that would like to ask a question or bring up a topic? Who hadn't had a chance to speak?
Hi, this is Judy.
Yes, Judy.
Hi, all this talk about watches reminded me that that new not tiles, but what do they call that tag? What do they call that for the
AirTag?
AirTag, yeah. Do those work with the watch? Or is that only an iPhone thing?
Who can help Judy out with the AirTag? No.
What I'm doing, I'll just explain. I'm swimming, and I'm trying to swim by myself without a guide, just little places. And I'd like to be able to get back. I laid my cane on the beach, and I thought, gee, if I could put like an air tag on the cane, and then when I'm swimming with my watch, it could line me up to come into the right place on the shore.
I think you've got to use the Where's My app on the iPhone in order to find the location of an AirTag. I don't believe you can do it with the watch.
Oh. Huh.
That's my understanding. I don't have a lot of experience with the AirTag yet. I'm still working on it.
Is there any kind of okay.
Go
Just
ahead.
a thought. I don't have an AirTag, so I don't know, but could you use Siri on the watch to locate the AirTag to at least get it to beep, if nothing else?
I don't know. I think it requires that Where's My Feet app on the iPhone.
Okay.
Because it uses the iPhone's.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, Sandhya, I don't like to pick on Sandhya, but I know she was our AirTag enthusiast. I mean, maybe do you know Sandhya?
Maria. Where's Maria when we need her?
I know. Well,
well, I do have.
Oh, there she is.
Wow.
She's here.
Okay. I didn't.
Wow. How's that?
Wow.
Awesome.
Okay. Don't scare me like that. Okay.
I do have AirTags, but I don't have an Apple Watch. Perhaps I will win one this Saturday, but as of now, I don't have one, so I can't comment on that.
Can you guys think of any way that I could find my, way back? I mean, I'm not far away. I'm like, 25 yards away, but I just want to be able to get back to the right spot on the beach where I started out. Some technology way to do that.
Barking dog. I don't know. I really don't know.
Wow. There's got to be something with all this techie stuff.
This is Herbie.
Yeah, Herbie, go ahead.
One thought I had, but again, I don't know if it works with the watch. But, well, actually, you know what you could do? Because I was originally going to say you could use a tile and those beep. But, so, like, I don't know if any of you are my age or not. But if you do, you may remember beeper balls. And there was also this game I played called one set in these events called Pin the Tail on the Donkey. And I mentioned this because it was a beeper that you had to find where the beeper was coming from. So, if you could attach something like that to your cane so it's at least constantly beeping, that would be, that.
Oh.
That would be, I mean, that might be a tricky thing on the beach, but it's better than nothing. And
Yeah, it's not a real public beach, you know. That would actually be really cool. Interesting.
get a beeper.
This is
And I
Jody.
don't mean pager, I mean a beeper, you know, something that beeps. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kathy.
Okay. Hold on. I think I heard Jody first, Kathy. Jody?
Yeah, you could just go with an old-fashioned, low-tech way and just leave a radio next
There
to
you
your
go.
cane playing.
There you go.
You know what? Haha. Yeah. Yep. That's a really good
Okay.
idea too.
And
Thank
then,
you.
and do we have Nancy?
Kathy.
Oh, Kathy, excuse me.
So we have this frog in our garden, and when you come close to it, it makes a noise, ribbit. And I wonder if you could get something like that, What else are they like? I think it's like there's a barking dog. If you get close to the front door or something, people have the barking dog.
Right.
And it only makes noise when you get close to it. So it's like what do you call that?
Motion sensor?
Yeah, motion sensor. That's
Motion
what you
detector?
need. Right.
All right,
Jody?
guys. We've got lots of.
This is Nikki.
Oh, Nikki.
Okay, guys. We're
Hang on. What do you,
Oh, I'm sorry. What?
Yeah, we're getting a little off topic, and it's at our midpoint. So, Brad, we ready to hand it over?
yeah, let's do that. Let's set the
All
midpoint. Hang on, Nikki, and we'll pick up everybody who wasn't able to get in there as soon as we're done with the break.
All right.
Great stuff,
you.
everybody.
I know. Good job. Thanks, Brad. All right. So, welcome to everybody. And this is when we get to let anybody who joined us late. We have a nice crowd on the call tonight. So, please just, if you didn't get to say hello previously, say your name and where you're from, please.
This is Maria in Albany, New York.
Hey, Maria.
Hello.
Mark in Montreal.
Hello. Welcome.
Kathy in Tulsa.
Welcome.
This is Scott from Arizona.
Hello, sir.
From
Nikki from San Francisco.
Hey, Nikki. And who is that?
Tree.
Shree. Hey, Shree.
Joe from Norman.
Hey, Joe. Welcome.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Elisa Porter.
Hey, Elisa. Welcome.
Mo from Houston.
Eva's here.
Eva's here. And Mo, is that you? Welcome. Glad to have you. Long time. All right. Anybody else?
Paul San Antonio.
Hey, Paul. Okay. Great to have you too.
This is David from Houston.
David, glad to have you.
Arlene, North Carolina.
Hey, welcome to you. I think you're a new caller, right?
Right.
Okay. And how'd you hear about us?
I heard about you at the beginning of the month at my Vision Insights meeting in North Carolina in Durham.
Oh, great. Okay. That was a fun group. Well, glad you're here, Arlene. Nice
Thank
to
you.
have you.
It's taken
Would you
me
like to tell us
45
what?
It's taken me 45 minutes to figure out how to say my name.
Oh, well, hey, you
I signed
better
up for mentoring.
Oh, great. Well, better late than never. We're so glad to have you. Glad to have you. All right.
Lisa.
Great. Who else do we have?
I am.
Oh, there we go. There's our other troublemaker. All right. Anybody else want to say hello?
I'm sorry. Who was that?
That's Arlene.
Hey, Arlene.
Yeah, there
Thanks.
you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, bye.
That's right. Brought some good friends in there. Thank you, Jim. All right. Who else do we have? Anybody else want to say hello? Please. Who you are and where you're from. Anybody else? Okay. I think we got everybody. So real quick, like we said at the beginning of this day, beginning of the meeting, quick bunch of things going on this week. Tomorrow's Clubhouse from 5 to 6, all time central on the Clubhouse app. That will not be on our Zoom call. Everything else is on our Zoom call. Wednesday is Android Insight from 7 to 8:30. Thursday is Trekkie Talk from 8 to 9:30. And then, so then we have iBUG Night at the Virtual Movies, which will be Friday, and we'll come back to that because somebody's going to have some fun clues, I think. But then on Saturday is the really exciting day we're really looking forward to. It's our anniversary, 10 years. And I mean, we just can't, I can't believe it. And we have made so many friends from, people that have been here for all 10 years and some people that just called in, today for the first time. And everybody is welcome and really would love for you to participate. We'll have games, we'll have door prizes, we'll have some entertainment and trivia. So it'll be fun, and special people that have helped us along the way, and everybody we appreciate all of you. So we hope you'll come. It will be fun. No demos. It'll be just all just a celebration and a trip down memory lane. A little bit of that. And some silliness. There will be some silliness, I can tell you that right now. Okay, with that, now we're going to hand it over to the lovely, wonderful iBUG guy who's going to tell us some clues. Mr. iBUG guy, are you there?
Is here.
Oh my goodness. What you got for us today?
All right. One thing I forgot to mention during the announcements earlier, and I don't think you mentioned it either. All of our announcements, all of our events and things going on, you can always go to our website, ibugtoday.org, to find a listing of those upcoming events. Also, it's a good place to find recordings of all of our training sessions. So, forgot to mention that. And we have a Facebook groups page in case you have questions that come up in between these Monday night calls. You can always go to our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/iBUG today to post those questions. Finally, if you're on Twitter, you can follow us on Twitter at iBUG, or Twitter, the handle is at iBUG today.
Okay, very good. Where'd you go?
All right. Sorry, I was having some background noise. I had to go on mute for a second.
Yes.
Speaking of moot.
Moot.
Or mute, as some folks would say. I would like to do a quick sampling of our audience.
Oh dear.
How they pronounce the word ROOF. Anybody?
It's Shelby.
Shelby.
Roof.
Okay. Anybody else?
Nikki.
Brad.
Nikki.
Roof. It's more with a U in it. My mother was English.
Okay. And I would venture to guess, if I didn't know you, you were from California. All right.
Yes.
Anybody from the East Coast?
Connecticut. This is Judy. Roof.
Go. All right. Yeah, you pronounced it correctly.
This is Chanel.
Go ahead, Chanel.
I'm from the Pacific Northwest, and I say roof.
Okay.
Mark from
This is
Montreal.
Steve from East Texas.
Hold on. So what is? Oh yeah. Go ahead.
All right, Montreal. Mark, go ahead.
In Canada, it's like out and about, and we say roof.
All right. Very good. All right. So yeah, those are
Jody from New Hampshire.
And our New Hampshire person, go ahead.
That'd be roof.
Okay, and then our final one, Keith, go ahead.
Roof.
All right. So most of the U.S. will say roof. The East Coast, Eastern states generally say roof. The West Coast, or mainly in California, they'll say roof.
Mr. McCullough,
All right.
what does this have to do with anything?
Oh, one more. Since
Mr. McCullough.
Since I've been famous for stating what I wear, my satin PJs, the word. How do people pronounce PAJAMAS?
Oh my God.
Anybody from the East Coast?
Kathy, pajama.
Go ahead, Kathy. Okay, pajamas.
Mark in Montreal.
Mark.
Well, generally pajamas, but when my mommy was alive, I used to say jammies. Just so
This
you
is
know.
Herbie.
Jim
All
from the
right.
East Coast.
All right, go ahead, Go ahead, Herbie.
So it's a little bit strange, but when I say PAJAMAS, what comes to mind is I'm afraid to admit that I know Michael McCullough, so it's kind of fun. Because it's set in pajamas, just, bad images go through my head, so.
Jim
All
from
right,
the East Coast.
One more person from the East.
This is Sri.
Jim.
Go ahead, Sri.
And we like to say things as quickly as possible. We just say PJs.
That doesn't count.
Okay, you're done.
All right. We need to move on. I'm being told.
All right, hold on. We're gonna clear. Everybody's got a bunch of. Okay, it's all quiet now. Go ahead, Mr. McCulloch. You're muted too as well, which is actually a good thing. But sorry.
All right, so we've got a movie coming up this Friday, starting at 7:30 p.m. for the pre-social. 8 p.m. the movie will promptly start, and there shortly after the movie we will have a discussion. So what is our movie of the week, you may ask?
Yes, we're asking.
So it is time for Michael's Movie Minute. All right. All right, I'm pretty sure no one's going to guess it tonight. This is not a very well-known movie. A few people may have seen it, but I'm venturing to guess most people have not. So even if I give you clues that have the answer in them, you probably wouldn't get it. We'll go ahead and start out and see. Clue number one. Who or what lobbyists represent is often cloaked in mystery. Who or what lobbyists represent is often cloaked in mystery.
Next.
All right. Our heroine is one of those lobbyists. A ferocious, take no prisoners individual.
Heroine?
She is one of those lobbyists. A ferocious, take no prisoners individual. Elisa.
Is it a hotel movie, I think?
No, not this
well,
one.
The lobby part kind of got me, so I thought it was like a hotel movie.
No, it's a different kind of lobbyist.
All right. Keep going.
This is Sri.
Sri.
Is it Aliens?
Aliens. That has nothing to do with these lobbyists, but it could.
Kathy.
All right, Kathy.
Mrs. Tibbs Goes to Washington.
Oh, she's getting closer, but that's not the right answer for our movie this week. All right, I'm going to move on to clue number 3. Her political convictions are unknown. She is not an idealist or an activist.
This is Sri.
Sri again. Go ahead.
Is it Aaron Brockwitz?
Oh, no. That would be a good guess, though.
It's a really good guess.
All right. Thinking of Washington, thinking of political lobbyists. All right. She's outside of the box. No, she's outside of the box. She's brilliant and she's scary. She will do anything to win.
Is she wear a fedora?
There are no fedoras in
Oh,
this
thank
movie.
God. We had a fedora last week. Okay, Mr. McCulloch.
She's outside the box. She's brilliant and she's scary. And she will do anything to win. Anything. All right, final clue. And this will not give it away either. Her colleagues are thrown under the bus, used, lied to, and betrayed.
This is Shri.
Shri.
Is it Silkwood?
Silkwood. That's another great guess, but not what we're watching this week. All right. No matter how many clues I give you, you would not get this one, I don't think. So it is not a very well-known movie, as I said, but it should be a very entertaining one. And the movie we're watching this week is Miss Sloane. And the crowd goes wild. Wow.
Crickets.
Dead silence.
Interesting.
Yes, I'm on the podcast. What can I help you with?
Not my idea.
Miss
Oh, okay.
Sloane.
Can't wait for that one.
All right, you want to go ahead and
Hold on.
I'll
We're
be
gonna.
off in about 15 minutes.
Okay, sorry, we were getting some background noise. Okay, so Mr. McCulloch, come back. We had to mute.
All right, back by popular demand.
Oh.
And unfortunately, since we didn't have a winner, the prize money will go back into the kitty until next week.
All right. Wow. Well, thank you, Mr. McCulloch, I think. Okay, well, let's hopefully the movie's better than the clues. We hope that you will come on Friday for this intriguing film. All right. Okay, now back to our regularly scheduled program. We would love to have somebody new that hasn't had a turn. Ask your question, please. And reminder to everybody else to stay on mute if you don't have a question.
Clubhouse.
Oh, yeah. What about it? Oh, tomorrow. Yes.
If anybody has Clubhouse questions, we got a few minutes that we spare between.
Oh, yes, that is true. Anybody have a Clubhouse question?
This is Karen.
Go ahead, Karen.
I have a question. Yeah, when I go to my buddy list and I'm just, snooping around, seeing who's where, and I go to close the buddy list, it takes me to a different room. If I was in a room and I said, let me just go to the buddy list while I'm listening to a room, and I go to close the buddy list, it takes me to a different room.
Okay. Anybody having that issue that Karen's having, looking at the buddy list and transported to another room?
Mark in Montreal.
Mark.
They seem to have corrected that issue with the last release that came out, not the one with the upgrade to the policies and guidelines, but this one that came out the Sunday before. I think the P's and G's came out on the Friday, and the big one came out on the Sunday before. I can't remember the version number, but it's the latest one anyway. If you get download that.
As of yesterday, it happened. Mine is updated. My app is updated, and as of yesterday, it happened.
Let's see what Brad says. Brad?
Well, I got the same issue, and I've been trying to figure out how to get out of it too. Two-finger scrub does nothing, and I can't find a back. It's a problem.
I just leave that room quickly.
Well, yeah, me too. I feel your pain.
I don't know where I am.
Experiencing it too.
Okay, Karen. Y'all are all in the same boat and somewhere else where we don't know we are. Okay.
Michael.
Yes, sir.
Well, to get out of the buddy list, if you just touch on the left side of the screen, pretty much anywhere other than the very bottom left corner, that should take you out of the buddy list.
There's another way to do it too. You just flick to the left, I believe, with your 3 fingers. Do a flick to the left, if I recall correctly. It's either to the left or to the right, and it'll get you out.
Okay.
All righty. Okay. Thank you, Karen, for that question. Good luck. Anybody else have a Clubhouse question?
This is Dee.
There you are. Go ahead, madame.
How come Clubhouse won't let me in?
You don't know the secret handshake, obviously.
I think I just got an invitation and y'all holding the door shut now that I arrived.
Okay, go ahead. So hold on, Shelby, what is your question? It's still not working, or what's going on?
Oh, no, I still can't get in there. I have sent them their support thing, a couple of emails, and I just got the usual automatic thing back, saying, yeah, we know you're trying to, yeah, we'll help you someday. They're too busy, all that. It was very nicely worded, but I can't. So I sent him another, and a few days later, tell him I was still having trouble, but so I haven't heard anything else.
Okay, I've had somebody else had something similar going
is
on.
Shelby.
Yes, go ahead, Shelby.
So I had that same problem when I signed up. If you didn't get a direct invite link from your messages and you just download the app and signed up, it's gonna take a few weeks.
I got a direct link invitation.
Oh, in that case, that's weird because usually okay.
Thank you.
Makes you feel a lot better. Okay,
Yeah.
well, no, we've talked about your I think you were kept asking me for Twitter and all that stuff. So
yeah, don't even do that no more.
This is Herbie.
All right, go ahead, Herbie.
Yeah, maybe your best bet is like I think I suggested a couple weeks ago. Why not just create a free Twitter account that you never use except just to get past Clubhouse.
Okay.
Yeah, that would might just be the best thing, because it's free.
Okay.
This is Shrey.
Okay, Shree, go ahead.
So, Deidre, do you know if you're getting passed beyond what you were typically getting, the phone number and the country code? Are you still getting the same thing?
I haven't even tried again, Shree. I just sent an email again. I really haven't tried to do anything else with it because I just didn't think I could.
Okay. Any other thoughts from anybody?
This is Kathy.
Go ahead, Kathy.
Is there anything we can do? I mean, I don't really understand what happened to me because I put in my information, except for my bio. I hadn't written it. And then an old friend from like 30 years ago invited me in one day. Like somehow he saw my name. I don't even know, how that happened, but he invited me in. So is there some way we could like have your name and invite you in? That would.
I don't know.
Go ahead, Shree.
Yeah, I have a feeling her number's in their system, and it's in a La La Land in their database. And I think even if I send her another invite, I think she's going to have the same problem. It's going to think that she's already in the system, but she's really not in the system.
This is Keith.
Yeah, they got my number.
Go ahead, Keith.
I was just going to say, I've sent her the original invite, and that could have something to do with it. But I know just when I went into the list, into the buddy list, and found her name, that I was not able to send her another invite. So I think you're right. And, somehow your phone number has gotten in there and just, I don't know. It just seems like it's something that they need to reset on their end.
Okay, Dee. Well,
This is Maria.
Go ahead, Maria.
Just super quick to clarify the question about how the person, I think was it Kathy, who got the invite from the friend from 30 years back, and randomly how did that happen? It's because Clubhouse has access to people's contacts. And so when they see people join who, are in your contacts and who need an invite, you may get sometimes in your activity a notification saying so-and-so is waiting, let them in. I've had that happen a couple of times.
Oh, okay.
And that doesn't actually use the invites that you, so like people have a certain number of invites and it might increase, as they're using it more, but those kinds of letting people in don't count against that number. So it's just a different way to get people onto the platform.
All right. Thank you, Maria. Good luck, Dee. I'm sorry you're having that trouble, but one day you will get there.
Maybe.
Maybe. It will. It'll happen. This is Sandhya. Did you already, I'm sure you've tried this. Have you already tried just deleting the app?
They're letting all those Android people in now, so they're probably not going to get to me for a long time.
Have you already tried deleting the app? I'm sure somebody's already told you that.
Yeah,
okay.
I did that.
All right. Okay. All right. Well, I'm sorry.
I just had to bring it up
This is
again.
Herbie.
I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. Is this a new topic? Or?
Well, actually, it's related to this one. I was just
Okay, go
going to
ahead.
ask, when was the last time you actually did try? because they've made a lot of updates, quite a few number of updates over the last few weeks. So it might, if it's been a while, it might be worth trying again just to see what happens. I mean, I don't think you've got anything to lose.
Okay.
Okay.
All
Okay.
right. Thank you, Herbie. Thank you,
Mhm.
Dee.
Thank
All
you.
right. Anybody else? Final clubhouse question? We'll move on. Moving along. All right. So, who has the next question? Somebody new that hasn't had a chance to speak tonight? This is your turn. Get to have the floor. Somebody new that hasn't had a turn? We'd love to hear from you. Questions?
This is Jody.
Go ahead, Jody.
Well, I just wanted to let everybody know it's not really a question. It's more a clarification for everybody in case you have the same problem. I was on a Zoom. I was connected by Zoom last week, and I took my dog out, and my phone must have thought that I was driving my car because it put me in safe driving mode, and my microphone got turned off. And so I had to turn the microphone back on, and I came back in. I sat down in my chair, and it said, "Oh, your vehicle has stopped moving." So I asked the question on the message list, and I got the solution. I thought that the solution would be found under my general settings, under notifications or whatever. And it turns out there's actually a setting in the Zoom app. So if you find yourself being put in safe driving mode, go to the Zoom app to turn off the safe driving mode feature.
All right, very good. Thank you, Jody, for sharing that.
Well, thank you for solving the problem last week.
All right, very good. All right, now who's next? Somebody new want a question? Somebody that hasn't had a turn? Okay, hearing none. I actually have a question. So we've all gotten those Google Calendar invitations. So you get the invitation and it says, so-and-so has invited you to an event. And, it's yes, no, maybe. So you click yes. And then it says, well, do you want to sign into Google Calendar? And then you do that. So does that mean that that event has been automatically added to my Google Calendar? Or do I have to do something? Because I don't see them there. So obviously something is wrong.
This is Dee.
Go ahead, Dee.
Okay. Anytime I've got anything like that, yes, that puts it right on my calendar.
Okay, maybe. Okay.
It puts that appointment or whatever it is, event, puts it right on your calendar on that date and time.
Okay. Well, thank you. Was
Pretty
somebody else?
cool.
This is Chanel.
Chanel.
Yeah, usually I have like a save button or something and then it's added. So I have to press enter or whatever on save.
Saw that. Okay. All right. Thank you, Chanel. Anybody else? Any thoughts? Okay. Well, I'll keep looking.
This is Shree.
Shree.
Do you know if you have the calendar synced up with your Google?
Yeah, that's what I'm beginning to wonder, and I don't even know where I go and look for that. I guess I need to go under Google. I looked under settings, and
I think it might be under the when you go to the mail accounts.
Okay. 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 Well, I have some work to do. So, okay. Well, thank y'all for your help. All right. Anybody else? New question?
It's Kathy.
Kathy, go ahead.
So do you ever notice how everybody starts with so? I was noticing, I was trying to read, listen to the iPod that I missed about the streaming, and you were just getting to the part I wanted to hear about Netflix, and then it stopped, and so I followed the link through iBUG today.com, and I just hit enter on the link, and then it went to, so I don't know where it went to play the podcast. And when it stopped, I was trying to, go back or change. It said adjust time, so I was trying to restart it or hit play, and I couldn't do anything on the screen. And it jumped ahead. When it stopped, it was at 1 hour and 20 minutes, and then I don't know, it went to 2 hours, and I couldn't ever get it to play again. Does anybody know where I was or what happened.
All
Is it
right.
something?
Anybody have any help for Kathy?
This is
Brad?
Brad.
Go ahead.
I'm lost. Where were you trying to play it, Kathy?
Well, I had gone to iBUG today, and when I found the link that said,
You're playing it on the web player.
Okay, I think it
Is that
said
what you're
something
saying?
about. I think so. Yeah, I guess so, because
Okay.
I don't know. I just hit enter on it, and it started to play.
Yeah, a lot of those start playing a web player. And I've played things like that before. They kind of know where they are, and when they pause, they're where they are, and I don't know how to get them to start over.
Well,
this is Herbie.
I was going to say you might try using a podcast app because you can find you're talking about the Buzz, right?
Well, this was the one you recently did on a Saturday.
She's talking about the
Oh
cafe.
no, those are not on. Those are on the website only.
Because I couldn't find. Yeah, I listened to my iPods on the Victor stream, and
Okay. Yeah.
so
That's
I
different. I
couldn't.
don't
I
think
tried
the
to get the
Buzz.
iBug. Yeah, it only had iBug.
It's not
it
on a
didn't have any
podcast
of the
feed that I'm aware of.
cafes.
Maybe Herbie's got something he can help out with.
Okay.
So you're trying. So first of all, you're trying to play the iBug Buzz on the phone.
Cafe.
Yeah.
Applying
Cafe.
play
Yeah,
cafe.
the cafe. Yeah.
Cafe.
Okay.
Or it doesn't matter anything from the
So,
website.
I mean, I think it's a triple tap and hold, it'll bring up an option for downloading. It'll still start playing, but if you swipe right, that should bring up a download option.
Wow, what's the triple tap and hold? Oh, that's like. Okay.
This is Sri.
Go ahead, Sri.
I definitely know what you're talking about because I experienced it. I experienced it both on multiple occasions where I'm playing something. And typically when I encounter this is when I'm forwarding the podcast. And then if I forward it a few times, it gets stuck. And if you hit play, nothing happens. You can't rewind it. You can't continue it. You kind of, it's completely frozen. And what I noticed is if I try to do a refresh, it says the connection that you've connected to is lost, and I basically have to start all over. That's the way I've been going around it.
And then when you start all over, it says time is adjustable, but when I tried to swipe up or down, it didn't go anywhere. But if I started over, is there a chance I can speed it, get up to where I was or almost where I was?
This is Sri.
Go ahead.
I could not get it to play where it left off. I'd have to flick up and down or flick up to go through the time slot.
Right.
And I've noticed that it just starts from the beginning, and then I'd have to flick up till I get to like an hour and a half, and then go with the play. But it's randomly occurring, and I haven't quite figured out what's causing it. But I have noticed it.
All right. Anybody else? Any other thoughts? This is Sandhya. I know that we used to have this issue before with some things, and I remember I used to I can't even remember the fix I had, but I used to use like Overcast or Downcast or something else to actually listen to something from the web. And I can't for the life of me figure out what I used to do, but it was like importing it and then playing it, and it was just like a whole procedure. But we used to do that to listen to certain Star Trek episodes. I think we had a problem with them, but I'll have to go back and think about that. So
if I downloaded Overcast, would it just go there when I went to listen to it, or would I have to?
Hang on, David, you want to help her out?
Oh no, I was just wondering why don't we put the cafe and the other things in the podcast?
That is in the works, literally in the works. So yeah, we are getting everything
Herbie.
set up. But yeah, very good suggestion. Thank you, David. Go ahead, Herbie.
Yeah, putting everything in the podcast feed would definitely be the most beneficial, but no, it will not load an Overcast. But if you download it to your phone, you could use an app like VLC Media Player that would let you rewind and fast forward because it'll be a downloaded file, not a web-based file, and so then you would be able to rewind and fast forward it if you got an app like VLC or you imported it into VoiceStream.
This is Roy.
Okay, Roy, go ahead.
a lot of times when I'm playing audio and I'm having trouble manipulating it, like rewind and stuff, if you just go to Control Center and use the media options there, it'll manipulate the last thing you played with rewind, fast forward, and pause in the Control Center. Whoops, sorry, my dog's barking.
Okay. All right. All right, we muted everybody. So, thank you, Roy. And if you want to come back, you can unmute. Okay, so there we have it. All right. Any other thoughts on this one for Kathy?
This is Shri.
Shri, go ahead.
I just think, and I'm not 100% sure, but the fact that when I go back, it tells me that it's lost connection to the server tells me that it's lost, and that's why I can't continue to play.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you, Shri. Thank you, everybody. All right. Who's got the next question? Somebody that hasn't had a turn? Maybe somebody that has had a turn.
This is Shri.
Go ahead.
Is anybody in this group running the beta version?
Of what?
The iOS beta version.
Guess not.
Nikki has a comment. I'd like to make a comment about the lady who was trying to figure out how to get back to her spot on the beach.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, the first question I have is, I don't know what the Apple Watch does. I've never used one or anything like that, and I don't know anybody who has one, but does an Apple Watch have apps on it? Can you put an app on it like you do on a phone?
Yes.
Okay, because there's a thing called Tile, and I'm assuming that the Apple Watch is waterproof if you're going to go swimming with it. So there's this little thing called Tile, and I have it. My phone is the main thing, but I put it on my charger for my phone, which I'm the one that I carry with me, which I'm always misplacing, and I put it on my keys. And I also put it on my 2 Kindles because I'm always putting them down somewhere. And I do a lot of audio stuff on my Kindles. So what happens is if I lose my phone, I go to one of the other things that I have in the house and I press the button and my phone makes a noise and I can go find it. And so if you had this Tile app on your Apple Watch and you had a Tile attached to your cane, you can get tiny little ones that will hang on your cane with like a little keychain or something. Or in your, let's say your clothes are on the beach, you could stick it in your pocket. And if you hit that button on your phone or your Apple Watch, you'll be able to hear it on the beach and go right to it. And you only have to do it when you're heading back in. And once you get to the edge of the water, you push the button and that will alert you. It's kind of like the old things that the California Council for the Blind used to have years ago, where you could put something in your luggage and then you'd have the thing that should beep it when you couldn't find your luggage.
Right.
But this is much more sophisticated.
Yeah, we're kind of talking about, yeah, that's a great idea. I think we sort of talked about, tags. We were talking about AirTags with the Apple AirTags, and AirTags were kind of similar to the Tile app. So we were trying to figure out if that would work or whether we could ping it from your watch or not. So that's the question that we have to figure out. But great suggestion. We appreciate that. Nikki, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Who's next? Somebody new with a new question, comment, problem, any issues people are having? We'll be talking about anything new. Anybody new that has a question? I know there were some people at the beginning of the call that had questions.
This is Arlene.
Go ahead, Arlene. Go for it.
I'm real curious about these AirTags. Is that something that you buy? Is it like a real thing or is it an app? What is an AirTag?
Great question. Who would like to give a quick response to what is an AirTag? Who would like to describe that for Arlene? Anybody want to talk about
It's a secret.
It's a secret. If we tell you. Nobody wants to tell Arlene about AirTags? Okay, I guess so.
This is free.
Where's who, Brad?
I said Maria. Where's Maria?
Where's Maria? Okay, go ahead, Sri. Enlighten us.
So basically, it's a physical device. It's a size of two. If you stack two quarters together, and basically what it does is it uses the Find My feature in your phone to try and find these tags. And the way that these air tags are very popular is the fact that these can communicate with anyone that has an iOS device or those who have an NFC device with Bluetooth. It will kind of ping it very cryptic, so no one knows. There's no tracking that somebody can figure out. So basically, it will send it'll send a through the map of your phone. It'll tell you exactly where this particular tag is located. And if you currently run an iOS 11, I mean not iOS, an iPhone 11 or newer with the U1 chip, it gives you precise finding capability within like inches of where the tag is, and you can attach it to many devices. They make third-party attachments to the tags, but basically it kind of works like somebody mentioned about the tiles. It's kind of like the Apple's version of the tile.
All right, thank
This is
you,
Maria.
Sri. Maria.
Hey, just to quickly add, when Sri was saying about attachments, I just want to clarify, some people have been surprised. There is no, so unlike the tile where you do have a hole through which you could, put a keychain or a loop, what have you, the AirTags do not have that. They're just strictly circles. So those are the attachments. You have to, if you want to loop it through something or put it on a keychain, those are separate accessories that you can buy. And some of them do cost more than the AirTag itself, but some of them do cost less. So
thank you, Maria. All right, Arlene, I hope that helps. Great question. With
Thank you.
Apple TVs, and people ask, well, is it really a TV or what? So that's a totally great question. Great question. Okay, who else has a question? Something new?
This is Dee.
Dee, go ahead.
Okay, since we're on the AirTags, I'm curious. I know that you get that feedback on your phone, giving you directions to it and everything, but does it emit a sound?
All
right. This is Maria.
Go ahead, Maria.
So not when you're doing the precision finding like a continuously per se, but you do have a play sound option in the Find My app. Once you've opened your AirTag from the items tab, it does ping about 3 times. So you do have to then press it again. So it is kind of like the Find My in that regard. And it kind of sounds a little bit similar to that. I guess the ping, it's not some like loud, thing that frightens you. It's pretty pleasant. But no, in and of
so
itself.
About how far away can you hear it?
Maybe depending on if you had like some open doors or something in a room, you might be able to hear it over from like the door of a certain room or the next room. It's not like super loud where you could maybe hear it in like a crowded airport. You wouldn't be able to, but in theory, but they kind of work together, I guess, because like precision find, if you're within, and again, it depends on kind of walls and things. If you're within, say, like 25 to 30 feet away, it should start giving you directions to it. And it literally is within, and I mean, it tells me it's there right when my phone is above the AirTag. So it's really precise. So I think between the two of those things, you'd be able to find things in daily use. And this is totally separate from like the lost mode feature where you say your thing is lost and then all the devices around start to, anonymously broadcast location data to it. But but in terms of the sound, I guess that is a differentiator too with tile. I think you can make it beep. And I think you can also, using the tile, I guess, like do something so that your phone beeps if you lose it. And that's using the tile app, whereas the AirTag is just a one-way. It's only your AirTag that can beep.
Wow.
Yeah, can Nikki add something?
I guess is a better word. Yeah, what?
Can Nikki add something?
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, say your name. Okay, Nikki, go ahead.
It's definitely 2 ways. And you can have, as I mentioned, I've got it on about 6 different things. you can have an unlimited number of things in your house that you can attach it to, but the phone or the Apple Watch would be the main thing. And then if you can't find your Apple Watch, I can't find my phone half the time. So I just go to one of the devices, I find it and I push the button and then I find my phone. So it's really handy to have, you know, if you're always losing things like I am.
Well, great. Thank you for talking about Tile. That's great.
You're welcome.
All right. Any
This is
final
Maria.
thoughts? Go ahead, Maria.
I'm sorry, just if you give me a couple of seconds, I have one of my AirTags in my hand and I'm just trying to quickly enough to see if I can do a quickly play that sound to see if you can hear it through the mic. So I'm just, let's see here. I'm just kind of positioning. You'll give me one little second. I'm sort of trying to do this. Okay, thank goodness for my Braille display. All right, here we go. All right, let me put this over to the mic. So let me know if you can hear this.
Yep.
So you see that it literally did that little chirpy sound and then it did this pinging sound 3 times and that was the end of the sound. So I would have had to press it again so as to hear it.
Okay.
Can you adjust the volume on that?
No, you cannot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay,
it literally, it's like vibrate. It's like, it's not a speaker per se. It's like the entire, like the AirTag, you don't feel it, but it's like, it's supposedly the internal is kind of like, or vibrating in some way to produce the sound. So it's okay. It is what you get.
Thank you. Thank you, Maria. All right. Somebody new have a new question? New topic? Anybody have a new topic? New question? If not, I have another question. It's all about find my things. We're losing things all the time today. So I am trying to set up something for my mother. Find my feature where you can find people. And she's always like worried about where my sister is and, you know, how far, you know, is she at work and blah. And it's like, okay, you know what? I'm going to set it up. And anyway, the question that I have is, she also wants to know where I am too. So is there a way to rename things like people in there, or is it whatever contact that they have, that's what they come in as? I hope I'm expressing the question correctly, but like for whatever reason, my contact is my email address, and it's kind of hard to say, where is Esra, blah, 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 you know, the email address. I wanted to be able to say, where is my name, you know? So that's the question. Brad, go ahead.
Go into your mom's contacts and update the way your name is listed in your mom's contacts. It may be that somehow your name is in there as your email address.
Yeah, that's just, I don't even know how that even happened. Okay, all right, fine. Okay, thank you, Brad. Jody.
Jody?
Yes.
Yeah, are you using the Find My Friend app?
Right, yeah, it's called the Find My. It got everything within it. Yeah, but yes, that's what
I gotcha. Okay,
Yep.
I haven't used it in a while, but you know, it used to have the name, and then even if somebody had a picture there for their contact, the picture would even show up.
Right. Yeah.
And it would usually give the address.
Yeah,
you know, where they were, and
you can
it would show up on a map.
You can name the locations, like you can say, well, she's there right now at whatever 1200 bins or whatever, you can say work. And so it'll say, you know, Anne is at work or something like that. So, okay,
Yeah.
well, I will work on fixing my contact, I guess. All right. Who's next with a new question?
This is Brad.
Brad.
Just to clarify, I think it's the way you are listed in your mom's contacts.
Right. I have to
Okay.
fix my contact in
her
my
phone,
mom's phone. Okay.
Yeah.
Very strange. Okay. All right. Anybody else with a new question? I'll actually be quiet and give people a chance to speak. What do you think about that, Brad?
No, it'd be pretty weird.
Jody?
Go ahead, Jody.
I was just going to say, getting back to the locating your cane and the tiles and the air tags and everything, is wireless doorbell is another choice. And if you put the buzzer on your towel, you could probably take the button with you in the water, because they're usually waterproof.
Okay, very interesting. Okay, who's next? New question. I may have another question. You have any other questions, Brad? Anybody else have a question?
No, I'm.
This is Shrey.
Shree, go ahead.
Just a curiosity question about your previous question. How does your mom like call you on when she calls you on your phone? You know?
I have no idea.
Call, email address.
It's when I saw that, I was just like so perplexed. I was like, I don't even know how that even got there. But I think my niece set it up. My niece helped set her up there, so I don't know.
This is Maria.
Yeah, oh, sorry. Go ahead, Maria.
Oh, no worries. So just to guess, so like the one person that I have this same behavior with, that it's her email address only, it's because I don't have, that's a separate email from the one I have for her in my contacts. So I wonder if it literally is just that your contact, because I'm thinking the other people I have both their phone number and email in my contacts. So I wonder if it's just that I guess it depends on how, I don't know if it depends on in some way how you set yourself to be identified, but I would just suggest making sure both your phone number and your email address are in your contact.
She could have, or there could be multiple, because like I also went back and looked at for my sister. I was trying to set it up so she could say, where is your sister, and then it would say, oh well, there's like 2 contacts, and then I looked in there and there were actually like 5 for her. I'm like, why are there 5? So then I went through and deleted them. So maybe there's some weirdness going on with that. So
yeah, that's a good point. Like a duplicate. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And there used to be an app. I know somebody told us about it where it would delete duplicative contacts. I think it was like Interact. Does that sound right?
I think. Yeah, I'm looking on my phone. I think it is Interact.
I never used it. I remember we had a demo, maybe it was a cafe a long time ago with Raul, I almost think. So, okay, I'll have to. And then there was something else
called... This is Dee.
Yeah, go ahead, Dee.
Okay, I'm going to get smart with you, I guess.
Get smart. Okay.
I'm going to get smart with your mama. Did you ever try to tell her that is for tracking children, not adult children?
You try telling my mom that, okay? It doesn't matter how old you are. It's a lost cause. Go ahead.
I mean, it's a cultural thing. Trust me. There's this expectation, like for your parents, we should know where you are. It's a lost cause. Like,
well,
it's like people in India. You can't keep up with your children everywhere.
I know. Well, no, she's right here. It's just like, well, is she 22 miles away or is she 17 miles away? It doesn't matter. All right. Very good. Thank you, Dee. Okay. All right. I know it's a lost cause. Okay. Who else? Anybody new? New problems? Issues? Solutions?
It's Kathy again.
Kathy, go ahead.
I'm having problems. I want to be able to use the Braille input, and my dots are all in the wrong order. I'm losing my mind. So
that too is a lost cause, Kathy. Sorry.
No, it's like instead of
No. I understand.
It's almost like well, when I do this, I think it happens with either screen away or tabletop. It's like my ring fingers are dots 1 and 6. And then my 2 middle fingers are right, 2 and 5. And then my pointers are 3. 3 and 4.
3 and 4.
So they're backwards,
yes.
Hold
on 1 second. Go ahead, Herbie.
There is an option to reverse dot order in the Braille settings, and try that, and you might find you'll have an easier time.
So that's what it means, is reverse dot order. Because when I try and calibrate, I'm still doing, it's 4, 5, 6 is right and 1, 2, 3 is right. They're just in the wrong.
Yeah, well, because I didn't because I reversed my dot order because I did not like the way the Braille screen input was originally set up. And
so you mean it's really meant to be? I mean, if you look at the cell, you could almost do it, but you're not Brailing in the correct way.
It's kind of weird, but I think if you try the reverse order, you might find you'll have a bit of an easier time because it'll reverse that what you're trying. I think you'll find it'll reverse what you're struggling with.
Okay.
This is Maria.
Go ahead, Maria.
So I also think I would suggest just until you get the hang of the orientation to when you're using Braille screen input, you might want to enable hints, which you can also add to the rotor so you can quickly enable and disable them because it will tell you which way it is oriented in terms of which way the charge port is facing. Like what I've had happen sometimes is I go into screen away mode. I don't have my rotation locked at this point. So I'll put it into screen away and it is, instead of assuming that my charge port is to the right, which is usually how I'm holding my phone, it is thinking my charge port should be to my left. And so hence the dot positions do appear reversed. And so what I end up doing is like I'll kind of shake the phone a little bit while holding it in screen away, for instance, and then it will repeat again screen away, but with the charge port in the correct orientation. And that usually, you know, solves that for me. So that might also be it, that it's just orienting the mode in a different way from the way you're actually holding the phone. And like I said, the hints will give you that info about where it believes that the charge port is facing, and you just kind of, if it's wrong, you just want to either you kind of shake the phone, or you might want to bring it, like say I bring it to screen away with the charge port to my right and the phone is telling me the charge port is supposedly to the left. I will turn the screen toward me so that it kind of reorients itself, and then I'll turn it with screen up tabletop mode and then again screen away from me, and then it will say correctly charge port is on the right. This sounds way more complicated to explain. when I do it, it's just really quick.
I don't know what she just said, okay, but thank you, Maria.
Thanks.
Do what she said. Don't listen, but okay. Yes, thank you, Maria. Yes, and Maria did do a demo at our last Apple workshop of Braille screen input, so maybe there might be some answers in there. So check it out. Okay.
Well, that's what made me start this all over again. But...
Oh, it's her fault. Blame her. It's fine. All right. Anybody else want to?
Well, this is Herbie.
Question. All right, go ahead, Herbie.
I was just going to say, if we're going to blame Maria for stuff, thanks to that demonstration, I've started using Braille screen input to open apps now. So now it's like I don't even have to worry about app organization. I never really knew about that feature before the demo. So
very good.
What was the thing you do? I missed that somehow. What did you? Well, how do you go to your home screen and you
type? You start to type. So this is Maria. You start to type the letters, the first few letters of the app, and then you will contracted Braille isn't supported there, but it'll start telling you. It'll be like, you know, 5 matching apps, and then supposedly, you know, presumably you type another letter and it says 3 or whatever, and then you flick up and down. We'll say with screen away mode, you're going to flick up and down. With tabletop, it's toward and away from you, but that'll take you through your matches, and then when you reach the one you want, you use the 2-finger swipe to the right, like the enter / new line gesture, and that will open your app.
Cool.
Just what she said. Okay. Thank you, Maria. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm glad you're here to explain that. Okay. Anybody else with a last question, probably for the night? Anybody?
What time is the event on Saturday?
Okay, please announce yourself. Is that Jody?
Oh, sorry, it's Jody.
Yeah,
sorry.
yes. 2 to 4. 2 to 4 on Saturday.
2 to 4.
So, yeah,
and that's Central Time.
Central Time, yes, ma'am. Central Time. All right.
Same bat channel.
Yep, same bat channel. I just have one more. I've got lots of questions. I've had various issues. So real quick, I think I know the answer, but I've tried this and it's not working. So we have a group text, trying to add somebody to the group. And so I go into info and it shows A, B, C, and D, and I want to add E. So I, look for E in it says add contact, and I just cannot I can't figure out how to add E to the list. And I know it involves going to info, and like I said, it shows me who's there, but I'm not succeeding. I know I've done it before, but for whatever reason, I can't add a person. Any thoughts real quick? This is for a group text. 3? Oh, I thought that was 3. And Any takers?
So this is Herbie.
Go ahead, Herbie.
So what exactly? So I mean, are you trying to? Your problem is after you hit the add contact button.
So you've got an existing text group, and you want to add one
Yes.
person.
Yeah.
And
So you go to info,
yeah.
and there should be an add contact button at the bottom.
Never see that. Okay, I keep looking, but I mean, it doesn't have to do. I mean, anybody can add to an existing group, right? Not just the person who created it.
I would think so, but
That's what I thought too. But
real quick, what microphone are you using? Because you sound a lot clearer than you normally do.
Oh, I'm on my Blue Yeti. Finally learned how to use it.
That's what I thought. I was like, 'cause you sound a lot better.
Thank you, Herbie. All right. I hope I'm not too loud, but you would tell me. But okay. So what? So there should be an add contact button at the end of after it lists A, B, C, and D.
Yes.
And I've never found it. Okay, I will go look some more. I'm just not. I don't know. And then because it'll say add contact, and so I think, okay, well maybe this is where I find E and then add it. But then it just creates like a separate person in addition to the existing group, if that makes sense. So it's not very. I'm doing something wrong. So okay.
This is Maria.
Maria.
So first, so it's yeah, it's literally, so there are other things after the screen. So like I'm in a group where I'm not the owner, and after I see the list of participants, it does say there's this add contact button, and
Right.
then it puts me into an edit field where I can start searching for someone.
Right.
And then I start searching, and for instance, yeah, it shows me a name, and I can click on this name, and then presumably add. I'm not going to do it because this is like, but I'm just then there should be an add contact like button there
To confirm that person.
I believe that's what yeah, I should try this for a different group that I'm not like the one I see. If I click, oh, I don't want to add to this group. Let me see a group that I own.
Yeah, it's really because I've tried it multiple times and I
Yeah.
never find like it goes into all of my contacts and I see like A through all of
Yeah.
them.
And then what happens? So you'd select one?
I select one of it, then I never know how to I don't know how to get out of there, like to confirm like, hey, I really want to add Joe to this list. I can never get there.
Oh, there's not like an add to group or something, is what you're okay. I think I'm
Oh
gonna
my
have to-
goodness, we are okay. Well, we'll have to table this one. Maybe we'll figure out an issue for next time. We are over time. I'm so sorry, but if maybe we'll figure it out, and if I find out, or I'll talk to you guys, and we'll talk about it next week. Then, all
Miss
right?
Kathy.
Go ahead,
wait,
Kathy.
What's the name of the movie again? Mrs. Forbes?
Miss Sloane. It's a lovely movie. I can't wait.
Miss Sloane.
She says with sarcasm. So it's good. It'll be good. It'll be very entertaining.
Knew I was going to be out of town.
No, it's going to be fun. So we hope you will come. It's supposed to be a good movie, and it's gotten some very interesting, good reviews too. So please join us this Friday for Miss Sloan, the Apple workshop on Tuesday for our special anniversary celebration on Friday, Trekkie Talk on Thursday. I'm going backwards. Wednesday is Android Insight, and Tuesday is Clubhouse Mini Buzz, iBUG Mini Buzz. So we can do this all again tomorrow at 5 p.m. Central Time, just for 1 hour. And I think we forgot to mention our new book that we're going to start reading now is Call Me By Your Name, and it's Andre Simanak, I think is what his name is. It's an interesting name. But the DB number is 65,344. So start reading now. It's 8 hours and 20 minutes. So that's not for a while, but just letting you know. Okay, with that, we will say goodnight to everyone. Thank you for all the help. Thank you, Brad, for helping me facilitate tonight.
My pleasure.
You are so wonderful, right? Yeah, no. Okay, no. Thank you very much. And thanks to all the participants and all the callers. And we couldn't do this without you. So thank you very much. Hope to see you Saturday and Friday and Thursday and Tuesday and Wednesday. All right. Good night, y'all. Bye.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Stay well and be safe.
Thank you. Bye.